It's great to have your company on this edition of Hong Kong Direct. We're 1 week away from one of the biggest races on the Hong Kong racing calendar, the BMW Hong Kong Derby. And this weekend, we've got a big 10-race card coming up at Sha Tin. This is what we've got in store for the show. Informed jockey Chad Schofield takes Andrew Lejeune on a behind-the-scenes tour of the jockeys' room at Sha Tin. Plus, we'll be looking back with Hugh Bowman at his victory in last year's Hong Kong Derby on Furore. I'm pleased to say that our race caller, Mark McNamara, is our special guest on the show this week. Mark, it's been a bit of a baptism of fire for you here in Hong Kong. You've been here for a few weeks now. How's the experience been?
Been loving it, Ed. G'day to you and everybody, and nice to be joining you for the first time on Hong Kong Direct. It's been everything I thought, although a little different. The city a little quieter than what you see in the television, the newspapers and that sort of thing. And I guess fitting, first episode of Hong Kong Direct features Chad Schofield. Rode a treble on my first day at Sha Tin.
Yes, definitely. And a good time of year to come here as well too, leading up to one of the most prestigious races, the Hong Kong Derby, in a week's time now.
So close, and Golden 60, of course, headlines the Derby, looking to win yet another race in Hong Kong. He'll be hard to beat. He's unknown over 2,000 metres. We've got a number of the imports which have won over 2,000 metres overseas. So it's the unknown with Golden 60. Apart from that, as we've seen, he's done everything else.
Definitely. All right, well, we've got the field for the Derby that we'll be releasing later on in the show, but plenty to get through. We're going to start off with a special behind-the-scenes look at what happens at the jockey room at Sha Tin with someone who's been involved in Hong Kong racing for a long time, Chad Schofield.
We're inside the weighing room here at Sha Tin, outside the jockeys' changing room. This is as far as we normally go. You watch the jockeys after they've ridden a winner come in, they weigh in, and then disappear behind the closed door. But today, we're lucky enough to get a guided tour with Chad Schofield and go where the cameras can't go on race day. Thanks for doing this.
No problem.
Excellent. So we'll have a look around in a second and have a look at your gear as well. Just a quick orientation for us though. This is where you all sit, and this is your spot every week.
Yeah, this is my locker every week. We're all allocated one, both here and Happy Valley. I'm here, Karis Teaton's here, Lyle Hewiton was there, Grant Van Niekerk, and so forth.
And upstairs, we'll have a look there in a second. We've got saunas, jacuzzi, and a sort of a rest area as well.
Yeah, we do. We've got a couple of beds and couches and whatnot.
All right. Well, it is Tuesday morning. Trials are just finished. This is a normal routine for you, getting ready for Happy Valley Wednesday night and packing your gear. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, so every Tuesday after trials we come and pack what we need tomorrow night at the races, and then Ray from the jockey room and the boys take it over for us. So tomorrow night, for instance, I have a light ride, so I'll be using a small saddle.
That is small as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, how much does that weigh?
Probably weighs about 300 grams.
Not much bigger than my hand.
No, it's tiny. But they're actually very comfortable to ride in.
Right.
I've also got a couple of heavy rides, so I'll take a couple of the big saddles. Probably this one too.
Got it.
And then boots, yeah, you can chop and change boots every now and then. So I use one pair.
Yeah, everyone's got patent leather ones now, I suppose, that. And these weigh absolutely nothing. I mean, there's barely a sole to those at all, is there?
Well, I like riding in these soles. Some jockeys like sort of rubber on the bottom, but I find it more comfortable riding in these. It's just what I'm used to and what I find best.
All right.
So we'll put these two pairs in. Whips.
And they're all the same?
They're all
It's not
different
like a driver and a
flexibilities.
5-iron?
They're all different flex and lengths. Some are quite heavier as well, but I'll take maybe 4 or 5, and depending on the horse or I decide what whip I want to ride in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. Bag arrives down at Happy Valley. It's all there ready to go when you arrive.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's have a look around.
Okay.
All right. So this is the what room?
Recreational area.
Big lazy boy chairs, TVs. So are you watching our broadcast during the day, or is it just?
Yeah, we are. We're listening to you.
There you go. All right, that might change things a few bits. And the food as well. So regardless of, I mean, if you're doing light, you're not going to eat very much. But if you're not, if it's just a normal day, are there different foods provided, and drinks and so forth, or is it just sort of like normal?
They put on a really good spread. All different foods, hot foods. They cook a roast. They might do curries, fish, vegetables, cheeses, fruit. They do a lot. It's not often, well, me in particular, we can eat during the day, but we might grab a piece of smoked salmon and pick it, or banana or something, and maybe after the last race come up when we're done and have a meal.
Let's have a look in. This is the sauna, and there's a jacuzzi in here as well. And you can use this on race day, the sauna, or is it just getting ready for? And is it something you do if you still need to shed a pound at the start of the day?
Yeah, that's right. It's on all day. Most jockeys get in before the first and get their weight off, so they're good for the meeting. But it is on throughout the races. If you got perhaps race 6 and 7 off, and your light rides in race 8, you can come and hop in and get the last little bit of weight off. And there's also a couple of ice baths out normally. They're all filled with ice, and there's a jacuzzi as well. So there's good facilities here to have a sweat, and all the gear and that's all cleaned and done by the valet, so we don't have to worry about any of that. It's just
excellent. All right, let's keep going. Now the colours on a race day. This is all of them basically. It's pretty impressive as well. That's the valet's responsibility. He gets them all out for you. So does that happen? You come in at the start of each day and they're all there. It just comes out race by race.
So when we come into the jockey room at the start of a meeting, if we have 10 rides, our 10 colours will be on our locker ready to go. Yeah. They'll be in order as well. So we just pick them up, put them on and weigh out. And the valets take very good care of us. We're lucky to have them. All
right, couple more rooms to visit. Well, who's this? Has he got a name?
I don't think he has a name, but he's used quite a bit in this room. Some jockeys like to come up here before the first race and have a stretch, warm up,
some rollers,
or hop on the horse and warm up in the mirror. You can have a look at yourself and
do you actually change things, or are you at a point now where it's just Chad's Chad? You're not going to change any style things, or are you always looking, thinking, I could do this, I could do that?
Of course, we're always trying to improve and improve on areas that we think should be improved on. But my style is pretty cemented in now. Yeah. But I always like to have a look at myself and see where I can improve.
All right. One more room to have a look at. It's the same as downstairs, but this is for the visiting jockeys.
Yeah, this room.
So you keep them separate away from you guys. Don't want to mix them with the general population.
Well, on International Day in particular, there's a lot of jockeys here at Sha Tin, so I think that's probably one of the few days this room gets used, because they've got to put the jockeys somewhere.
Yeah, so this is the Hugh Bowmans, the Ryan Moore, Jamie Spencer's been here quite a bit as well. It looks like they've left some gear behind as well.
I think it's all the valet's clothes.
Oh, is it? Fair enough.
But it's just another extension of the jockey room, really.
And do you, when they're riding, do you come up here and have a chat and then to mix? And the same downstairs as well, or when you're there, sort of in between races, it's the headphones on. Everyone just keeps themselves.
Pretty much, yeah. There's not a lot of talking or banter going on in between races, but it's all business as usual.
That's brilliant, Chad. Really good look around. Thanks for that.
No problem.
Good luck tomorrow night. Happy Valley.
Thank you very much.
Terrific insight there from Chad Schofield into the logistics of being a jockey here in Hong Kong. Such a competitive environment, Mark. But Chad's been here for 5 seasons now. This is his 5th season, 157 winners. Coming here at such a young age, he's done a terrific job.
He's had a great start to his career, hasn't he? Even down in Australia. Won a Cox Plate as a 19-year-old for Danny O'Brien on Seamus Award. You forget that he's actually Glenn's son, don't you? He's made a name for it as himself. That colours room is amazing.
Yeah, it is. Your job's to memorise them all too, for what horses have what colours.
It is. Well, from down under, Australia, New Zealand, the trainers bring their own colours to race day, but of course here they can just leave them in the one room. So to see them all stacked up like that was great to see. And I just wonder how many times Chad's been on the phone to David Hayes knowing he's coming for the new season. They have had an association, and David and Glenn had a very good association here as well.
Definitely. I'm sure there might have been a Christmas card sent. Of course, as you say, Glenn, Chad's father, rode here. Chad was based here as a youngster and now carving his own path here in Hong Kong. 21 winners for the season. He came back in early February from a 1-month suspension, and since then, Mark, he's ridden 7 winners, so he's certainly a jockey in form.
He has, including 3 on the 1st of March and a win at Happy Valley the meeting after that as well. So if he can stay away from the ire of the stewards, he should finish the season on a real high with 21 wins, a really good tally already for Chad this year.
Definitely. It's tough in Hong Kong for the jockeys with the duopoly, really, of Zach Purton and Joe Moreira. But Chad's having a good season and someone that's got plenty of years ahead of him. When those two go, he might be one that will be hoping to step up to fill their void.
And he's so tall, he seems to manage his weight so well. He doesn't seem to have too many issues with the weight, and apart from that blue saddle, which is smaller than a dinner napkin.
Yes, our dinner napkins
Yeah,
anyway.
that's exactly right, yeah. But yeah, doing a great job in 21 for the season. I wonder what his target is come the end of the season.
Yes, I think his best was around 38 a couple of seasons ago, so he'd be hoping to surpass that. We're just over the halfway mark of the season here in Hong Kong. Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more coming up on this week's edition of Hong Kong Direct. After the break, we'll be looking back at last year's Derby and then looking ahead to what's coming up next week, plus the best of this Saturday's action from Sha Tin. Welcome back. You're watching Hong Kong Direct. I'm Edward Sadler. Racecaller Mark McNamara is our special guest on the show this week. We are counting down towards the 2020 BMW Hong Kong Derby. The race was won last year by Furore, who was guided to victory by star Australian jockey Hugh Bowman.
When I hear the word Derby, the first thing that I think of is prestige. It is Hong Kong's signature race. There's a lot of prestige and a lot of feeling that comes with that word, and having had the privilege of winning two here in Hong Kong gives me a great sense of pride. In last year's Hong Kong Derby, we start just here before the winning post, and again Furore drew a very wide barrier, and the more I looked at the race, the more I thought, if I don't try and be forward of midfield, I can't win. And it was a signature race, or it was a race he'd been set for, but when he jumped so well, I immediately used that speed, and you know, I took a gamble.
Furore went forward. He's looking to slot in one off, and he'll probably secure a good position, Bowman.
As we went past the trainer's hut around the corner here, I just was able to slot into the 1-1 position, and it was a winning move. Well, I had Zach Purton caught 3 wide outside me.
Bowman's turned the jets on. Furore sped to the lead.
He took me right to the 200-metre mark, and Furore, because I'd had such a soft run, he balanced up and he kicked clear.
Furore's got the Derby parcelled up. Frankie Law, what a moment.
There's a lot of work that goes into that moment. There's so much luck that can go against you in racing, and this is one day that it all came together.
Yeah, that was certainly a fantastic ride from Hugh to get Furore to win the Derby from barrier number 12. And the field's just come out for this year's Derby as well, Mark. As you say, Golden 60 is the headline act for the race. He's the highest rated horse. He's trying to clean sweep the 4-year-old series. But champions weighing more than this haven't been too far off him this series.
They haven't, have they? Francis Loy, I think, big chance of running the Quinella in the race, and John Size with such a great Derby record. All three, though, untested over 2,000 metres, either here in Hong Kong or anywhere else, where plenty of the ones below have run that trip, been in a Derby or a Guineas in another part of the world.
Is there a roughie in the race for you then, with that sort of distance in mind?
I thought maybe Amazing Beats, who's a 2,000 metre winner at a Hong Kong appearance, and also a 2,200 metre winner in Tasmania, won the Derby down there. There's a few others, if the rain come, which have been running in the Derbies in Australia and the like, including Super Oasis. And Butterfield won a Derby in Brazil.
He did. He's my roughie for the race. I quite liked his last start win, and also his trial at Happy Valley last weekend. So he might be one that's sneaking under the radar. But big moment for Vincent Ho coming up. We'll be catching up with him on a big BMW Hong Kong preview show, which will be out a day earlier next week on Thursday, looking ahead to the race that everyone involved in Hong Kong racing wants to win. Our job, though, Mark's to find a winner in the more immediate future. This Saturday, we've got a Class 1 over the 1,600 metres. That is the feature event, the Lung Chung Handicap, headlined by Ka Ying Star, who's got the top weight of 133 pounds. Dark Dream is a ride for Wagner Borges, 4-time Brazilian champion jockey, who's back to Hong Kong for the first time this season. Harmony Victories coming off a last start win. Encouraging. Alfie Chan will be on board him. He guided him, Alfie, to a track record breaking win when he was last on the horse. Fast Most Furious is in incredibly consistent form. Flying Thunder's a Group 3 winner, and Precious Ship has won 4 of his last 6 starts. he's certainly heading into the race in hot form. Let's start at the top then, Mark. Kaying Star, he's been placed at Group 1 level at his last 2 starts, but as a consequence, he's got the big weight to carry here.
He does indeed, but it looks to be his race. He's suited by the 1,600 metres. They've taken the blinkers off this week and put the visor on. Group 1 form coming into this Class 1, despite the weight. He does look the winner of the race.
Definitely. He's the sort of horse as well that makes his own luck. So there looks to be a bit of pace on, but if there is, he can sit just behind the leaders, hopefully for Zach from gate 10. If not, he's the type that can go forward and set the tempo himself.
And Zach won't worry about a wide draw. We saw at Happy Valley, Mr. Picasso from the 10 just run them ragged. Interested to see what Fat Turtle does. First start at 1,600 metres, and Precious Ship's been really good down in Class 2 off the back of a trial as well. He goes to this race on Sunday.
Certainly, all right. Well, Simply Brilliant's an interesting horse. Fat Turtle's another interesting one. Frankie Law, they're 2 of his horses. Overall, he saddles up 4 in the race. I caught up with him at Happy Valley on Wednesday night and started out by asking him about Dark Dream.
Yes, he went better. 2000 and 2004 should be his best season.
So 1,600 metres on Saturday, will that be a bit too sharp for him?
A little bit short for him, but anyway, we need to race him. At this moment, not much race for him. So I need to give him a race and then maybe looking for the other race.
Simply Brilliant, he was a Group 3 winner last season. Was he unlucky here last time?
Yes, very unlucky. You can see he can't get the room, and I think he just beat by 2 lengths. This time I will remind the jockeys, must be get a gear run for him.
Is he going as well this season as what he was last season?
Now his form's better because last season, nearly the end of the season, his form just really dropped down. Now he's coming back. I think it's a good form now.
Fat Turtle, we know that he won over 1,600 metres in Australia, tries the trip at Sha Tin for the first time. How do you think he'll handle the step up in distance?
I think this is a little bit different horse. He can handle 12 and then 1,600. I think 1,600 should be no problem for him.
And Flying Thunder last season was impressive when he won at the end of the season in that Group 3 race. How do you think his form has been this season?
Early of this season, he have some joint problem and also have a fever. So now he looks better. And then I think maybe this horse, he carry lightweight should be better because last season he win 2 races, it's lightweight. So this time also lightweight. Be careful.
So 4 horses in the race, in a race where we've got 10 or 11 in the field. I know draws haven't come out and those sorts of things, but just on the horses, who would be the pick of your 4?
I think Simple Brilliant because he always faced to that Group 1 racing. So I think he's best one.
Always great to get Frankie Law's insights, and Simply Brilliant is the pick of his 4. Of the rest, Precious Ship, 3-time winner this season over the mile. Has to step up from Class 2 to Class 1. You mentioned that Class 2 win, but he's doing everything right.
His trial was quite good between runs as well. 20 pounds lighter than Kaying Star, so that's a help as well. And no reason why he can't. He's earned his shot at Class 1. No reason why he can't figure in the finish. Kaying Star has to be the one to beat, however. Interesting around Flying Thunder. We heard the issues earlier in the season from the stable. That's been an interesting trial too, to come out of it.
Yes.
Star Majestic placed Happy Valley, and Naboo Star, who's still trying to get out of that pocket, but did go out favourite in the last night. So it's been quite a strong trial.
Definitely. So is there anything else? I know Kaying Star is the class angle, Precious Ship's the rising, emerging talent in the race. Is there anything else, or is it just keep it simple and go for Kaying Star or one of the classy horses in the race?
Yeah, I think it's top and bottom, Ed. So Kaying Star, the one to beat for sure. Around Precious Ship and Fat Turtle, first start 1,600 metres in Hong Kong as well, but he's got a perfect barrier to use, barrier number 1 with Chad Schofield aboard.
Okay, I'll throw up, Flying Thunder and also Time to Celebrate as a couple as well, but agree that definitely Kaying Star's a big chance coming back from Group 1s into a Class 1 on the weekend. That's the headline act on a 10-race card coming up on Saturday afternoon from Sha Tin. Trackside live coverage starts at 12:30 with the first due off at 1 o'clock. Then we're back to the Valley on Wednesday night before we Head to Sha Tin for one of the biggest days of the year, BMW Hong Kong Derby Day for 2020. The barrier draw comes out on Thursday, and we heard from Hugh Bowman in that interview. They start from just in front of the grandstand, so that draw for the Derby is going to be crucial.
It is indeed. I wonder what went through Hugh's mind, knowing he's ridden Wink so often in front of a big crowd, to come to Sha Tin in front of a massive crowd to ride Furore to win the Derby.
He's used to the big occasions, isn't he?
He is.
Always a pleasure to have Hugh here in Hong Kong. Mark, thanks very much. All the best for the weekend.
It's been great. Thanks, Ed.
And we'll look forward to your company as well at Sha Tin on Saturday afternoon. Next week, as we say, is Derby week. And just to whet your appetite for the big race, we're going to leave you by looking back at one of the best editions of the Derby in recent years, the battle between superstars Abel Friend and Designs on Rome.
25-7 the lead as they work to the back, and Beauty Flame just being tested a bit by Mr. Nocky, and Travel Brothers strides up 3 deep. Down the back of the course with no cover. Tableau enjoys a good run fourth behind them from Bullish Boy and Flame Hero. He's taking close order as well at the 1200. Midfield on the fence, Weifeng Express, Secret Sham 3 wide. Then Lucky Double 8. A length and a half to All You Wish from Dr. Good Habit. Abel Friend goes between them. Designs on Rome is closing in. He's only a length off Abel Friend at the 1000. And Dibiani's a half length away at the tail of the field as they work down the back. And they're on even sections, 24-9 the next split. It's Beauty Flame a half in front of Flame Hero, who's done some mid-race work to go to second. Tableau third. Travel Brother with some cover down the side. Then Mr. Nocky from Weifeng Express, Lucky Double 8. Wider out is Bullish Boy. Now Designs on Rome gets going at the 600 metres. Abel Friend's been shuffled back to last. Mr. Nocky pulls to the outside. Then Weifeng Express, All You Wish, and Abel Friend will ride for luck into the straight, where Beauty Flame is the leader. From Flame Hero in second. Mr. Nocky runs on. Dibiani and Designs on Rome coming down the outside, and Abel Friend's got a split. This is what we've been waiting for. Designs on Rome, Dibiani the outside, Abel Friend's bursting up the rails. It's Designs on Rome and Abel Friend fighting it out. Designs on Rome with his head in front, he's edging away, and Designs on Rome wins the Derby by a length.